Most millennials have completely given up on the idea of traditionalism, with the budget being taken up by living off of Hot Pockets and buying gas to the only job you could get that's barely paying you enough to keep it. Even the thought or a glimpse of a happy family life eats away at whatever is left in their forgotten soul. Well, if any of what I just said unfortunately hit close to home for you, then stick around for a bit and let's discuss the endless cycle that is the suffering of humanity. And if you personally have been enjoying my daily doomer commentaries over here on the page, don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, opinions below, and subscribe to see my daily videos right here on the channel. And a huge shout out to the handful of youth for checking out those links down below in the description. A lot of you have really been showing your support down there, and I definitely do appreciate that. Those are some of the best ways to support me and the content right here. Now, let's begin this shit show.
During the union negotiation, I did a lot of gemba, just going to our plants and listening. And the older workers who'd been at the company said, none of the young people want to work here, Jim. You pay $17 an hour. And they are so stressed. They got to work at Amazon for 8 hours. Then they come over to Ford for work for 7 hours. And then they sleep for 3 or 4 hours. And then they go back and they're barely getting by. So we took every temporary worker and made them full-time. It wasn't easy to do. It was expensive. But I think that's the kind of changes we need to make in our country.
So you don't think we should change the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour?
No, sir.
Okay. Right now in America, we have over 22 million workers who are making less than $15 an hour, and nearly 40 million people in our country earning less than $17 an hour. Shamefully, the federal minimum wage, despite the efforts of myself and other people here, have not been raised since 2009 and remains an unbelievable $7.25 an hour. Will you work with those of us who want to raise the federal minimum wage to a living wage to take millions of Americans out of poverty?
Senator, I believe that the minimum wage is more of a statewide and regional issue.
Now, with minimum wage not stretching quite as far as it used to, with people feeling more replaceable than ever, and pretty much being so with AI taking over every job, and the lines for even the cashier, fast food, waitress job being out the door, it's insane to think that everybody's strapped for cash, and money is a hot commodity right now. Now, it's always been that way. Money's always been, on the top of everybody's minds. But these days, people are willing to fight for it. If anything, people are willing to die for it because people are dying without it. And it's a really crazy thing to think how even in the number one robust country in the world, the US of A, people here seem to be struggling more than ever, at least the vast majority of them. And the vast majority of this said category of people are in the, younger generations, the Gen Z, Millennials, and potentially Gen Alphas, who will soon realize their fate of never-ending finance and debt and whatever it takes to become the American dream that is slowly being pushed out of the everyday reality of society here in America. But what are your thoughts, opinions? Do you still see any sort of hope in the horizon? Do you still find yourself going over the budget and scoffing at the reality that there's nothing left over and that the only thing you can see is red negative signs whenever you open up your bank account app? Anyway, that's my reality. What is yours? Let me know in the comments.
Someone said the average millennial is 36 years old and has nothing to their name, and they're living basically paycheck to paycheck with roommates in their 30s, not married, no kids because they can't afford it. And in fact, what they do have is a bunch of debt. So their future self already knows that they're going to be broke, they're going to be poor. So we're essentially in a trap that we literally cannot get out of no matter how much we work, no matter how many jobs we have. A lot of people have a full-time job during the week and then Uber on the weekends just to make some extra money. That in itself sets you up for depression. I mean, think about working and having nothing to show for it. No savings, no investments, no house, nothing. Then you have their parents, the baby boomers, who are essentially the richest generation ever, who were able to support a family on one income, educated, have a house, savings, retirement. So where's this American dream that we've heard of? It's now turned into the baby boomer dream because you can't even get better than what your parents had.
Now, I'm all too curious about how the whole, people not really settling down anymore, people not really having families, or people that are having families probably shouldn't be doing so to begin with in the first place. I think we can all probably agree on that, and if you can't, you're probably in that same category. Sorry to break it to you, bud. But it's kind of crazy to really put into perspective how every generation that's kind of now coming into adulthood feels screwed over in the most, competitive way possible. Money is just not growing on trees anymore. How it feels like we used to be sold that, you get the education, you plant the seed, and within a couple decades, you will get the fruits of your labor. which these days, the fruits of the labor is the forbidden fruit. It's never there. It's never seems to be there. And then when you do taste it, it tastes like shit. It's not what you originally were paying for. It is expired. I'm sorry, I can't think of any more analogies here, but you kind of get what I'm getting at here. And if you do, then you get it. If you don't, keep watching. Maybe you will eventually. But when it really comes down to it, it's like, do we really feel like we have a fair shot in breaking out of the mold that we were born into? Unless you were totally born set for life, which the majority of us aren't, are we just all destined to die in the spot we were born into? Or is there really a way to, jump up these ladders? Or is the ladder slowly and slowly being pulled from under us every day?
The United States is the only rich country where getting the flu can cost you your job. Most developed countries will guarantee you paid sick leave. Germany, 6 full weeks. Sweden, 80% of your wages covered. Here in the US, you either work sick, lose your vacation days, or lose your paycheck. Land of the free, more like land of the work sick or go broke, honestly.
Now, as much as I shit on America, I do have a very humble respect for my country, being that I was born a USA citizen. I'm owned by the Uncle Sam. So I do have respect to him as if I have to, because he is my ruler. At the end of the day, the taxes, every single cent I make, he gets a portion of. I don't get much of a say in that, but I'm chained to him, and he's chained to me. So I'm living to learn with our relationship. But despite that, philosophical entry there in terms of my relationship with America and the way my economics is with it, despite all that, sorry about that little branch off there, but it's kind of crazy to think how it's like many people these days, they're kind of starting to waking up where it's like the best country in the world. A lot of people don't feel that way. Now, it's always people who were born here that feel like, this place isn't that great, because probably haven't experienced the actual shitty places in the world, because there are vast, far worse places than America. I'm never going to say that America is the worst in the world, but I definitely think there are many improvements that we should be making, especially things that we probably should have figured out a long, long time ago. And it really seems like, the robust America that, can really build the ground up from your bootstraps and get up to the top, where you're wearing suits and driving on private planes and jets and limos, drive you around, chauffeurs. Slowly but surely, over the years, over the decades, many people, especially these new generations, feel as if this is not as possible anymore. It's not doable. It's not going to happen for us. And then you go on all the news sites, every headline and every single, article, and it feels as if, what is the horizon going to look like? It's not hopeful. Never has been, never will be. And what's the point even trying to convince yourself, lying, it used to be being a doomer, being negative, being, the down and out type of person. Now it's just being realistic. I mean, if everybody's telling you how much life's going to suck, and then you realize, and you just say, well, life sucks. Are you wrong? Are you a sheep? I don't know. So let me know down below in the comments if you feel like you're a sheep, if you feel like you're slowly waking up to the realities of the world, or if you feel like ever since you started seeing it, it's been impossible to unsee. Well, that's going to wrap up this video discussing how if you're an American, you were screwed to begin with, and the lies you were sold really aren't worth all too much now that you really break down the budget and the finances and the economical status of it. But anyway, enough of those big words with vast, confusing definitions. Anyway, feel free to let me know your guys' thoughts, opinions regarding anything discussed in this video down below in the comments. I always love to read those and respond to the ones I see fit, as well as a huge shout out to the feuds, checking out those links down below in the description. Those are always the best ways to support me and the content around here. Huge shout out to you guys who continue to come up over here on the channel and support, like, and do all that, subscriptions and commenting and all that stuff I've already said too many times in the video that you guys are probably sick of hearing, because just like every other YouTuber says. Anyway, appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next one. That's it for me for this one, so bye.